Hey guys, Justa guy here with another little Minecraft tips and tricks today. Today we're going to be looking at TNT and the new 1.114 mechanics of it being lossless basically. It doesn't blow up blocks anymore. When it explodes, you get all the blocks that it destroys. And we're going to turn it into a TNT cobble farm. The first part I needed to know though was TNT fall rates, right? I know if you just hit it, it'll fall 77 blocks and then blow up. But I'm out of range to see the explosion, I guess. That was weird. But yeah, it blew up way down here. Yeah, you can see the one little block. I had a pad down here at some point. And then I need to find the delay of, I wanted 10 blocks. I need to figure out how to do that. I couldn't find any sort of rates online. No charts, no graphs, no videos. I did find this little piston TNT dropper machine from Cubfan, I think 135 from Hermitcraft. I don't think he built it, but like the first person, but it's where I saw it from. But he didn't give any rates of how to figure out what blocks fall and where. I do know that it falls 77. I do know that it has a 4-second timer, and that's something like 40 redstone ticks. So what I did was, just did repeaters and slowly tested it with this little unbreakable pillar combination of bedrock and obsidian, and then every 5 blocks there's a iron block that can be blown up to determine where it is. So if I push this little button, you'll notice the single splits. It primes the TNT, and then this delay has it blow up. Now it looks like it stopped right here, but visually glitch. But it actually stopped right here with the explosion, because there's just a delay between the visual and whatever. I don't know if it's my PC or whatever, but you'll notice every time it'll explode right there. So that's nice. And all you needed to do was 7 repeaters set to 4 ticks, and then 1 set to 1. Now if I get rid of some of these and shorten the delay, it'll fall much farther. So if you wanted like a 20 block delay or something, you could get that. And it's basically, like I said, 40 redstone ticks for the fuse timer. So if you think about it, each repeater can be up to 4. If you had 10 of these, it would blow up straight in the dispenser. So you just need to decide how many fractions of the full amount you want to get it to go. But now that we have the right amount, I, had the right fall distance for my dropper, we can work on it. Now, you'll notice I have 3 machines here. That's because I had a couple iterations of what works and what's faster and what's more efficient. And I actually figured out how to use structure blocks to clone my machine, so I could show you the various stages I had going. Now, where's it? Here's the first one I had. And it's just a single cobblestone generator at the bottom, pushes the blocks up, and then pushes the blocks out in a 9x9 cube with the middle gone, so that TNT can fall and the blocks can fall out. Let me show you. And then there's the auto feed system for the TNT. I'll show you in a second. It's just a big platform with some water. You don't necessarily need the sea lanterns. I just have them there so I could see what I was doing. And then it falls off into, after 8 blocks of water, into a 3-log thing into hoppers. I find this big collection area helps because as the piston pushers work, the blocks will get squeezed out and fall down, and it just seems to be useful to have more of a gap here so they don't pop outside. You don't need those iron doors. You don't even need to get in there at all if you don't want to. But if you want to have an access point in and out, I'd highly suggest an iron door or a trapdoor, just to have the most blast resistance possible. This also doesn't need to be a solid wall obsidian. The way I have it, fall exactly 5 blocks into the 9x9 cube and 5 blocks out. The explosion basically never comes out this far. It barely even hits this block most of the time. So you really shouldn't need this to be obsidian, but hey guys, this is just a guy from the future. I'm a little floating ghost head. It's funny what spectator mode looks like in that. This is just a little update to prove to you guys what needs to be obsidian and what needs to not. I basically covered the entire outside with glass and then started running it at a pretty fast clip, but the thing turned off so it doesn't replenish the cobblestone. And these are the blocks that went away. So basically, a square here that's what, 5 by 9 looks like, and then one block out here got destroyed. So I'd say maybe a good solid square on this should be a solid substance. It doesn't have to be obsidian. This cobblestone seems to stop it on this side, and then like a strip right here where the gap is needed to be it. The very square center, and then 2 out to each side blew up. Well, 3 out. So maybe further, just really rare chance. Because I've been running for like a half an hour already, and that hasn't happened. And then this side is the same with iron. So anything that's not glass or leaves would be okay to cover this with. If you're just curious. But yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so far. I've never had any blocks higher. So just, you know, if you resolve this big wall of monstrosity of obsidian, it doesn't have to be. Could be any sort of solid block of stone, maybe even some woods. I don't know if they're all blast resistant to the same or not. Just anything that's not glass, leaves, or netherrack, the most fragile blocks, you know. But yeah, this is future Justa guy signing off. Catch you later. But here's the second method, which was a second cobblestone generator on the top. And it pushes down, and that pushes up. So in the middle, everything gets blocks a little bit faster. And then this is the final method that's basically the most effective. It does cost way more pistons, though. Basically, it has pistons on either side that pushes in, so that when the edges are done, they can help feed the middle, because it usually explodes in the middle more than anything else. I will show you guys how to build this in a second part, most likely, because it's going to take too long to explain everything. But I also want to talk to you about why my lava streams and all that are so big. Currently in 1.14.2 and even 0.3, lava is a little bit bugged for cobblestone generation. If you put it here and it flows out to 3, nothing happens with water. Right? It just doesn't make cobblestone like it should. Oops. I need my bucket. There we go. Get rid of this. So this water will touch it, and nothing will happen. It doesn't matter if you put the water closer. It still doesn't do anything. So what you want, there we go, is to put the lava 2 blocks from the water source, the flowing water source, and it'll make cobblestone. But that's why you have this 7 or 8 blocks out. Yeah, that was the issue right there. You want this a full 8 blocks out, so that when it flows at 2 blocks away, it makes cobblestone. Right? Without the water being able to extend further and then ruin the thing. Because like sometimes the water updates before the fire, the lava. Huh. Did not know glass could burn. Whatever. So yeah. That's why my water sources are so far out. And why my lava is over here on both sides. It's reversed on the bottom. I know you used to be able to just have 2 things like be 1 block apart and they would meet in the middle. But I was having so much issues with it like messing up the lava or not making cobblestone, so that's why I did that way. So let's go back to the machine. Let's do the really good one here, right? We turn it on. Oh, first I want to show you an issue. Oops. So as you'll notice, the back of the good machine has a bunch of repeaters facing into the pistons directly powering them. And that is because if you use this abutting mechanic piston wall, the ones in the middle or whatever only fire when the other ones fire. So that can lead to some problems, as if I turn on this machine, you'll notice strips of blocks that aren't moving. I'll just break that for now. You do want these doors or a block here, because sometimes stuff will get stuck on that little ledge if you don't have them shut. But yeah, so there's these blocks right here, right? These will move in. Oh, that's, yeah. But this one will not, unless this one moves. And that can cause some issues if blocks are remaining there after an explosion, and they won't push out the blocks because these won't move. So the powering directly is the reason that does that. It doesn't do that. Oops, that's not good. Can't turn it off now. I'll just break it. This is the dead machine, really. It doesn't really work. It's the worst in all ways. But if you did want to build this machine, when I start building in the next video, just stop after the first one. After the first thing, you don't have to build everything else. And it still works. It's just much, much slower. The delay that seems to work best for this is a lot. So 18. I'm doing this so hard. There we go. So 64 and 22, so 86 works for the single basically. Every 86 it'll fire. Well, 86 doubled, it'll fire. But as you can see, I originally had just a button push because I thought it was, you know, pretty awesome to push buttons and blow up TNT. And as you can see, it blows up exactly the middle, more or less. And that leads to this big explosion pattern. But the problem is as you can see, it always blows up the walls close to its first, really. And these ones further in don't get a lot of work. So the single cobblestone at the bottom couldn't keep up, really, without a super long delay like that. It was actually... oh, I hate these doors. 64 seconds for one TNT to be recovered, more or less. And 121 seconds for like a multi-explosion that clears out most of the room. The double cobblestone over here was a little better because it had, you know, twice as much. So it's 34 seconds for one TNT and then about 62 for multi-explosions. And then this one, which is 2 cobblestone generators, one at the top and the one at the bottom, and then pistons on the side that push the stuff in so that if the outer rows are done, they'll help feed the middle. And this one was much faster at 20 seconds for one TNT and 48 seconds for a multi. So if we turn this on, and in this one also has the pistons directly powered so it doesn't leave those strips of unused blocks. This one only has a 34 TNT or 34 item delay for the hopper. It seems to work best. So this will fire here in a second. And let's get down here and look at it. So this one will come down. You hear the hiss, drop, and the blow up, and boom, instantly you can see tons and tons of pistons working, pushing these in. And it should start to go. And it should be fully filled in, or just barely not, by the time the TNT goes off again. Depending on the random thickness of the lava, really. As you can see, it just shut, and the TNT is just priming. And you'll notice all these blocks on the edges get pushed out as the pistons push all the blocks in, so you don't lose any. That's the big issue with the delay. You want to have as much time as possible for these blocks to get pushed out, otherwise you lose a lot. And the prime TNT blowing up will destroy items, the blocks that are already destroyed, but it won't destroy the blocks it blows up. And as you see, it flows down, goes into this little hopper system, and then into this massive, ugly wall of chests. But, I mean, you can do your collection system any way you want. And it also leads down there. So the rates. I originally tested that's double. It hasn't had the fixed piston walls. But this is what it does. So 10 TNT manual press, which is basically just trying to push it as fast, not as fast as I can, but every time I heard an explosion. Basically got you almost 9 stacks, right? The TNT timer, which was this system, which is just 15 repeaters set to 4 tick in a little loop. And this is just to turn it on and off. And it just would just shoot a TNT every 15 seconds. And then when you want to stop it, well, not every 15 seconds, every 15 delay. It was a little worse than the hopper clock, but it was what I was doing first. But I found out it was too hard to adjust the timing. Oh, that one's not on. But that one is. Oh, that one's still running fully. Okay. Whatever. And then we had the 20 TNT timer. So it's basically just under a stack per TNT efficiency with this thing, right? The hopper clock, where you got almost 10. 20, you got exactly 20. So 1 hour for the hopper clock went through 108 TNT. And it got you 2 full chests. And then 49, so 108 stacks of TNT, which was 6,961 blocks an hour at 64.4 blocks per TNT. That was pretty good, but like I said, the stripes in the middle not fully coming out made you have some issues. So when I did this test, I got much better results. 135 TNT in an hour, which is due to it being slightly faster at recovery, and I could have the delay a little less, right? And then 154 stacks and 46 blocks an hour, so 2 full double chests, and then almost a third, right? And that gave you 1,322 blocks at 76.4 blocks per TNT, so much more efficient just by making sure the pistons are all directly powered. In terms of, you know, TNT per hour, that's all about your delay, how, you know, efficient you want to be. If you up your speed a little bit, it won't quite keep up with the TNT. But with this delay, it does, more or less, as far as I can tell, unless there's a specifically long issue of cobblestone not being generated for some reason. Once in a while, it could go like a couple ticks with nothing. But you notice that pops out, and TNT should drop momentarily. Yeah. So it just keeps going. Like I said, these side ones just push out the cobblestone that's already there. You could possibly speed this up a little bit if you had a third cobblestone generator or a fourth on either side, but I'm not quite sure how to do a vertical cobblestone generator that works like more than one block without any issues. And you could also have, you know, better feeding, I guess, but this works. It might have some issues with lag because it is, you know, basically 9x9 area pistons and then 9 pistons on each side. So if this is too much for your world or your build or your multiplayer server, you can do any of the lower versions I'll show, just to lower lag. But if I turn this off, oops, second, you will notice just how much this blows up, and it never ever really gets, like, out of hundreds of TNT, these sea liners have never broken. So this is going to blow up again in a second, and it just makes this room bigger and bigger. Or maybe not. Oh, there we go. But yeah, this just gets bigger and bigger. So you can get several explosions out of one room. The only issue is, like I said, all these blocks on top don't go away if you don't keep pushing. Like this next TNT that drops will destroy a lot of these blocks because it will destroy items. But yeah, guys, I think this is going to be the end of this. And I'll show you in a second part how to build this. I've never done a build video before, so I don't know how it's going to work out. But I know it'll be way too long with this explanation. There's just too much to talk about. You know, all the various rates and mechanics, and then the lava bug, and how I figured out how to do the fall. Oops. I did find the little shortcut for this though. But yeah, guys, this is just a guy signing off, and we'll do some exploding together in the next video. Catch you later. Bye.